Well, another update on some of the things that happen online. And one of the things that a lot of us worry about are our ratings. Our ratings. Now, how do we get those ratings? Well, they tell us one thing, but then sometimes it doesn't quite make sense, does it? It doesn't quite make sense. Now, is it the parents or is it the student? Sometimes it could be a student that the thing closes and the student 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, has kind of got a rag on his ear for the day, so what he does is he hits a negative. Ooh, hurts your ratings, might hurt your pay, might even get your contract canceled. Or the parent, maybe the parents just had a bad day, want to take it out on somebody. Hey man, let's take it out on those foreigners. That's right, we can't take it out on our own citizens. Let's take it out on that guy who can't fight me back. It's possible. You see, those ratings are also manipulated by the company. There's no transparency. No one can prove to you, hey, this is what that really was. In a lot of cases, you have to appeal without the reason in your hand. Or you have the reason in your hand, but did it really come from this person or did it come from the company? There really isn't a set way. My particular case is a little different this time because what's happening in my case is I deal with school co-teachers, Chinese co-teachers, and today it really hit me because I got a notice to check this. We have a special schedule that when you go in and you see your classes, all you have to do is click on that class and then hit record, and then it will tell you these little drop-down menus where these co-teachers do speak slower, do this, do that, different things like that. And a lot of them are really ridiculous. Some of them are just totally shouldn't even be there. But that's what they do. Now, in this particular company, if you get less than 98%, you don't get a bonus. So I'd like for us to do the math. So I'm going to get my official calculator here. And of course, we can't argue with that. This is a Samsung. This is technology. All technology is supposed to be the correct, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. I'm going to get my calculator. And they say if you get 98% or less, you lose your bonus. Now, let's look at, I teach 200 lessons and I get 1 complaint. So in that, I have 1 divided by 200 equals 0.005. Uh-oh. Now, what percent is that? Makes you kind of wonder, doesn't it? Okay? So, we were looking at this one time, and I did 200 lessons, and out of 200 lessons, I had 2 supposed complaints. Now, at that time, they didn't tell me what it was. So, minus 2 is 198, okay? So, I'm going to take the 198, or 200, 198 divided by 200, and that gives me 99%. Now think about that. That's 2 complaints out of 200. 99% is a good rating. Doesn't quite seem fair, does it? Because anybody can have a bad day. Anybody can do it. That's true. That's true. Now, let's say that you do 1,000 classes. And, that's a lot. So we do 1,000 classes, and we get 6 complaints out of 1,000, okay? So minus 6 gives us 994 divided by 1,000, and that 99%. Now, what's going to happen out of that 90 out of 1,000? Or let's go back to the 200. You do 200 lessons, you get 5 complaints, which means you did 195 great lessons. 195 divided by 200, 97, and you don't get a bonus. Does that seem fair to anyone? Does that seem like it's humanly possible? Yes, it does, because some people do it. Does it seem like we're superhuman teachers? Or are we being manipulated? Now, I have 195 spot-on classes. I have 5 complaints, and I didn't get my bonus. They go a step further, and some of them will say, now, with this particular, another company I know of, in the entire term, if you get 3 complaints, cancel your contract. Well, in the entire term, I had done over 800 classes. Now, I got 1 complaint. One time out of about 800 classes, I got 2 complaints. And one of them was because the teacher didn't control the classroom, the kids were around, and I wrote in there, I said, hey, this is really not good. And I gave them like a 3-star because kids were running around screaming, hollering, and couldn't do, the lesson was a total failure on their end. So the teacher rated me a 3. Ooh, now 3 is just barely in there, isn't it? But it's enough to make the computer go, ooh, 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 ooh. And it was a problem. You see, we are at the whim because it showed me if I take the worst classes and I keep giving them 5s, I may get a 5. You give me 5, I give you 5. I just recently got hired with another company, and one of the criteria is it doesn't matter what the student says, does, or acts, always give them a 5 because the student rates you right back. And if you upset the student with a 1 or a 2, then they say, oh, well, he did that, so they'll get vindictive and hit you, the Chinese mentality. Why wouldn't this not carry over to the company? How many of you have had a complaint that was justified and you told the company about it, and then the company, for some reason, you didn't get a bonus? Some excuse came up, something happened. You see, they can manipulate these things. They can also, and this is very, very big, the computer automatically does these things. That's a lie. The computers are programmed by a person to do these things. And that means a person has control. Hey, you know, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to alter these records a little bit. Okay? It happens. Let's go back to that first example I gave you. I talked to the administrator of this company one time and I said, hey, how do you get these bonuses? Well, I said, what happens if you have 20 teachers and all 20 get perfect scores? Do all 20 get a bonus? And right from the horse's mouth, no, we have to kind of decide the 5 that we're going to give the bonus to. Well, hey, right there, told me, and I've seen it happen. The pretty girl I can prove it. The longest term teacher that it's been there since before this company had changed its name. A couple of the shining new stars that dog and ponied it all the way through, and they want to encourage them, see. And actually, I believe it was 3 of those, because those 3 end up being what you call lead teachers over the older teachers that had been there a long time, that knew the company, knew things were going. You know, we used to never, ever, ever get a complaint. Never. Until they started hiring these new up-and-comers in there that started coming in, manipulating the system, changing the stuff. You know, the ones that were, became the entertainment. Once those Chinese teachers saw that could change the dynamics of their class and make it easier for them, make it more fun for the kids, and they would have to do less work, those people started getting those ratings. The other teachers started getting, well, we'd really rather have someone else for this class. Ratings. There's so many variables for those ratings. Never count on security on the online business. Never count on it. They can change your rating anytime they want at the office at a whim. Even if you do make the ratings, it's at their discretion whether or not to say you got those ratings so that you can get your bonus. Unless it's on your platform, which some companies do have, you can actually see what you're getting, and it's in your contract. You will get that automatic bonus. That's cool. It could be children rating you. I mean, we're talking kids, little kids. And it could be mommy and daddy. So be very careful on those ratings. I don't put much stock in them. The 2 companies that I work for primarily right now, I don't worry about it. The new company has just told me that if you get 2 negative ratings, a 2 or a 1 star in a month, they'll cancel your contract. Oh, what if you're doing 200 lessons a month and you've got 198 perfect ones, all 5 stars? You get 2 that's 2 or 1 star, you lose your contract. Is that fair? Is that fair? If you're thinking about coming on the online company thinking there's a lot of money into it, believe me, there is a little bit of money to be made if you're in the right place at the right time, know the right people, and can, pretty much be one of the golden people, the chosen few. Because it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. You may be nibbling on one end of the bone, but there's somebody else with a bigger mouth on the other end of it. It all depends on a lot of things. Remember, don't trust your ratings, trust yourself. Trust your gut instinct, and always have a plan B. Get yourself a backup. This is Teacher Terry saying, enjoy the ride. It's a big thriller.